Welcome back.
The microphone works. Sorry.
You.
You.
Welcome back.
You.
I see you. Welcome back
People on audio are like, what are you talking
to
about?
another
Episode.
Do you have to go poop?
Yes. I was voicing my frustration.
Oh shit. You alright? Uh-oh. Frustration. What happened?
The microphone.
Oh, I thought
But now it
I
works.
thought you were gonna go into a topic.
No, the microphone.
I thought that was a segue, y'all.
No, I don't really have.
You don't have anything to talk about?
No, like
Oh.
work frustration. How are you?
How much time do we have?
We have about another
58
58 minutes.
Y'all.
Okay.
Our newest person got fired today.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. And it was... I guess it's been an overwhelming day. I had to go get a hearing test, and I found that I'm losing my hearing. Mildly.
Like my coworker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. At least you're diagnosed with it, so it's...
Yeah, I have a doctor's note.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I have a whole test that I did, which was very interesting. I was like this the whole time, trying to like listen to the tones to make sure.
Okay. Okay.
And then they did a lot of different stuff, but I don't know what it is. To be honest, it was a very overwhelming day. I had the day off yesterday to go help my mom and dad, and I'm exhausted from that. But also, I had to call one of my supervisors and talk to them about what's going on. And I just told her straight up, I don't care. You lost me.
Yeah.
I show up, I work. I don't know what to tell you. There's no team. There's no such thing as a team for me. I'm just doing my work. Whatever's attached to my name, I worry about. Everything else, I don't care.
Bravo.
Thank you. I knew you'd be proud of that.
That's
I knew
what
you'd
I've been.
understand.
That's what I've been wanting you to shift your
Yeah.
view to being. Yes.
And I told her I don't know if this can be fixed. Will it get fixed? I don't think so. But I just literally come in and do my work. And I don't rely on anyone. I told her I can't count on anyone because when I'm off, I see some work done, but not to the extent of how important it should be worked on. I said, so I'm sure you can tell. I said, I would hope maybe you can tell between me and the other employees here in this department the difference in work ethic. And she immediately said yes. And the sense of urgency and stuff. So I think that kind of set the tone for the day. And I was like, I'm so tired. I had just come back from the audiologist with that information, and then having that conversation, and then a couple hours later the CEO asking for all of us to be on a call.
Oh.
And I saw that the newest employee's name had completely disappeared from the chat, and I said, oh wow. He was very upset, not very stern. At first he sounded okay, like, hey, this person's no longer with us, but then it got kind of like I didn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
And so when he said that, I just had my phone on mute, and they could see that I'm on mute. And of course, my other coworkers were like, "Okay," and I'm like, I'm sure they're super excited about it.
Huh.
And
yeah.
Then he said that this decision was not made based off of performance, and that kind of threw me back. I was like, then what was it made by? And I didn't say anything. And then he got really stern and said, and moving forward, if we have to figure out what we're going to do if someone does come into the department, moving forward, we're going to, after reviewing the conversations on the chat,
yeah.
We need to communicate differently. And I was like, damn, what did he read? Right? Yeah. Because a lot of employees, I think, don't realize that when you have a type of messenger at work,
yes,
it can be read.
Yes.
By supervisor, admins, all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was all like, wow. But then at the same time, I was just like I had told my supervisor before all this happened. I said, I'm tired of the drama. I'm I'm just here to work. And I don't know, I've never been put in this situation. I said, so I don't know what to do anymore except show up to work and work.
Yeah.
And she totally understood, and she said that she gets it. She's the same way. And she was going to go talk to the CEO, and then this is what happened. So we are again down one person. And I'm just doing what I need to do, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's all you should be able to do.
Yeah.
Why get involved?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the fun part of my day, and I'm I'm extremely exhausted. I think there's just so much happening at once, and it's like I'm still processing everything,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then I went to the audiologist because I have constant ringing in my ears, and it gets louder certain times of the day, or for days it's really loud, and I found out why the brain does that, because all the high pitched sounds and
Okay.
tones I no longer can hear.
Oh.
So that's why my brain, she said the brain goes, oh, we can't hear this, so therefore we're going to produce this sound.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I hear ringing all day.
What do they do about that?
You can get hearing aids. About 75% of people say it helps. But hearing aids are like thousands of dollars.
Okay.
And although I could spend that money, there's only 75% chance. There's no guarantee that it'll go away. So, and then I said, so as I get older, will this progress? And she said, maybe. Or just maybe like that. You may lose your hearing as you get older, or it just might stay like this.
What did we tell you about 40?
40 is a great year. Start
Everything
breaking down.
falls apart.
Yeah. She was like, how long have you had these ringing of the ears? I was like, years. A couple years. So I'm not upset about it. I'm glad. She said I have to do a test every year. I don't want to make decisions. I'm just too tired. I honestly am. I'm too tired to make any decisions right now.
Okay.
On anything with everything that's going on. But yeah, I think I'm just trying to recoup my energy from how busy I've just been since last week. And with all the stuff that keeps coming up, So, it's exhausting. I need a vacation.
Well, you're going to get one.
Yeah, but that's a physical vacation. Like, lots of walking.
But
So,
it's walking.
it'll be different.
What are you going to be getting? Sunshine.
Sunshine. I'm going to go outside, get some sun, and do something
Greenery.
fun, not work-related or
Yeah.
anything. So, yeah. How about you? How's your work going? Any new exciting changes?
No.
No?
No.
Any debates on the McCormick getting bought out or being sold to a certain company?
McCormick? I didn't see
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, I saw it.
Okay, well, what do you got?
Nothing. I just saw that. And I guess there was some issues because the company that it was bought by or bought them out. Of course, my phone's not with
like
me.
McCormick, like the seasoning and
seasonings, yeah.
stuff like that.
I guess
What poisons are they going to put in that now?
that's the thing. I guess the company that bought it was like a fresh company, and they're like, McCormick has all these chemicals. Why would you do that? So I'm just like, I don't know. Everything that I see, I'm just like, eh. I don't care. It's all a show.
Yeah.
Like I told you a couple days ago or yesterday or whenever. Everything's a show.
And we can't have anything, no matter what. We're just not allowed because we're at crunch time. They got to get ready to tax the air we breathe and the water we drink. I mean, I remember I watched that video where they're talking about air, like our air or oxygen. If they got to figure out how to find a way to ration that as well. And I was like, the air, you got
Ration what? Because we're in a dome?
Well, yeah, and we
Are they gonna reveal that?
we expel carbon dioxide too. So
Oh, Jesus.
we are causing global warming. Not the fissures at the bottom of the ocean that are raising water temperatures and creating steam. No, it's our breathing and the cow farting.
Yeah.
So science, just get out of the way. That's probably why all the scientists are dying. And
Yeah, how about that?
yeah, were you looking at McCormick? Because
Yeah.
I did put a few things on my list, and that the scientist was one of them.
So I don't want AI explanation. We don't want anything with AI. Unilever? Is that how you say it?
I have no idea.
Unilever combines foods with McCormick. So they're going to be a global flavor powerhouse with a superior growth profile. Damn, I should have invested in McCormick. $45 billion deal. Sounds like money laundering to me.
And if you find that out, they'll arrest you for finding out they're frauding, rather than take care of the fraudster.
Yeah, it's insane. The world we live in is insane, and that's why I pay like no attention. I just laugh. I laugh at this stuff because, kind of like, not to get political, but Laura Loomer, that's her name, right? Laura Loomer.
Yeah.
Is a psycho, and I'm just. I so badly want to be like, bring the acting down. I know this is all a reality show. Like, I call it a reality show. But the drama is a little too intense. You're making it too obvious that it's fake. Like, bring it down a notch.
And, like, since it is a show and people love true crimes, I think that's why you're seeing all this. Because I had the article I saw had 11 scientists, but I think in there like up to 15 now.
What? I thought it was 16.
There's the one I saw with a streamer, and he like put it like, "Hey, I'm good. I'm not gonna harm myself." And then like 2 days later, he was killed. And there was another one. Let's see if there was another one that was like.
We're up to 12 scientists have now died or vanished under mysterious circumstances. 12. And they are all tied to sensitive U.S. research.
Oh, here's the one I had.
And it says it's sparking federal investigation. Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's see. This girl, Amy...
More like federal
anti-gravity propulsion, UFO extraterrestrial research, electrostatic, propulsion.
Yep.
This guy, asteroid characterization, deep space observation. This guy... planetary robotic systems, JPL, deep space. It's interesting. They're all with UFO and space. Right as we have an Artemis, which there's all sorts of issues as far as green screens and glitches and did this happen?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. Katy Perry. We need her back.
Speaking of Katy Perry, Katy Perry has been popping off lately.
Yeah.
That wonderful minister daughter that she used to be, a religious person. I sometimes hesitate to talk about the pop culture stuff because I want Brian in on it too. Like, I want you to be able to contribute to it, or like listen, like we can talk back and forth. But I haven't looked up any of the stuff. I've just seen headlines. But I guess Katy Perry has some allegations against her.
Was that in Australia?
What do you mean in Australia?
Was that where it was?
I have no idea.
Where she rubbed her, or did, like, it's
I don't know the exact details because I wanted to dive into it, but I want both of us to be able to talk about it. But all I saw was, is it Ruby Rose? Is that her name?
Ruby Rose, yeah.
Ruby Rose and Anna Kendrick was up in a picture. And it's supposedly related to... Yeah, it is Australia. Allegations of historical sexual assault. What do you mean? The astronaut Katy Perry is being accused of sexual assault?
Yeah, 2 more women came forward after Ruby Rose's claim.
Yeah.
So Katy Perry has been rubbing herself on all sorts of women while she's carrying, allegedly, Justin Trudeau's child, even though he's been alleged to be gay like his entire political career.
Yeah.
Because there's another lavender marriage that's set up. Because they can't just be honest and be like, hey, my name is Justin Trudeau and I'm gay.
I'm gay.
Hey, my name is Katy Perry and I got knocked up and I want to mess around with it. They can't just be honest. And the thing that I don't understand is that people would be like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't care. Just don't assault people.
Anna Kendrick recalls a weird Grammy night with Katy Perry. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But Anna Kendrick supposedly is not very nice either. But I mean, no matter what, if something happened, sexual assault is not something to joke around about. But I do think it's funny. You know what I've been noticing? It's like I rewatched. Like when I'm working, I have to have background sound, and so either I'll listen to podcasts or I'll just turn on a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not watching it, but I'm listening to it as I work. And I just think it's funny that rewatching older movies, like I was rewatching White Chicks, there was a lot of innuendos, not sexual innuendos, but like clues about cloning.
Yeah.
About, all this stuff with celebrities, and I'm just like, man, we really had it all. It's always been in front of us. Always been in front of us, and we've known this, but it's like more and more now when you see it, it's still in front of us. Like this whole reality show between all the conservatives and the conservative commentators. Now they're all going against each other and like whatnot. It's just amazing. You really start to think and go, what is it today?
That's weird because as we're getting closer to it, I think a lot of people are reporting on conspiracies to the point and fraud to the point where states are starting to want to put together anti-citizen journalist laws because they don't want us to find out.
Yep.
They're going into just chaotic mode. They don't know what to do, and we're all just sitting here saying, look, we've known about this for a long time. Why don't you just come out and say? Yeah. But they just keep and again, my theory is they can't. If they let us know one thing's legit, then they lose us on everything. So they have to keep the facade up. They have to just say no. I mean, the Katy Perry thing. It's like, why? Well, what is she? Why? I mean,
because she's satanic.
Because wasn't she like rubbing up on her or something like that? And
there was explicit things. There was like things with
panties being pulled to the side,
appendages
and,
on your hands.
Yeah,
and I just can't believe it. But then again, I can because remember Lizzo had allegations of sexual harassment, and like real stuff on like the Blake Lively stuff. And allegedly, and I don't know, but it's really unique. I think we've talked about Katy Perry, not in depth, like a whole episode dedicated to her, but maybe we should because there has been some time spent with her, how she literally went from her dad's a priest or something,
singer,
and then she turned into like a punk rock, which you're like, okay, cool, whatever. And then she as she was getting more and more famous, you'd see all the signaling, the
symbolism in her videos,
and it's just like getting worse and worse. And when she got pregnant with her first baby, she did a tour of her baby room, and I was like, this is a nightmare. This is very satanic, sacrifice, and just like her with her blonde hair. And then, there's so much. I maybe I should create a list. There's so much that she has done that's so obvious, and it's just like, girl, enough already.
Well, they have to. Like we've always said, they have to. They have to show themselves. They have to announce themselves.
Yeah.
You saw it like with Sam Smith, how he just went from this nice.
He's nowhere to be found.
He's nice crooner, just. These good songs.
That's great, yeah.
And then he comes out with this evil satanic show.
And for what?
And now,
because where is he?
Now it's just kind of like. I mean, was that the clone?
Is that embarrassing?
I mean,
is that the what do they call it? The humiliation ritual?
I mean, it could be.
But where is he now?
They've always talked about how the Oscars are, a ritual, or just to say they're, from the symbol of the Oscar itself to what the name of it means, and it's just. And they're celebrating their own, demonic depravity and stuff like that. It's not about movies. It's not celebrating art. It's not about celebrating anything. Well, maybe to some, but not for the high level, like the A-listers.
I think.
I don't know.
I think. So here's one thing I did want to talk about, just because, like I said, everything's in front of us. But I think we're getting to a point where a lot is being exposed now, or people are waking up and going, what the fuck is going on, Yeah. So, there's a podcast that I watch or listen to while I'm working that talks a lot about pop culture. And I have done reels on this before on our Instagram. I want to say about a year ago, where these people, art is a very quick and easy label to put on perversion, satanic stuff, and being an art major, I'm not defending the word, oh, if you do something that's like risque, you're like naked, doing a naked portrait, it's, you know, it's considered art just to kind of hide the fact that it's nudity. But I mean, there is just some extreme shit that has been done, not just recently, but in the past, that has been hiding behind the label of art. It's art. It's a form of expression. So what I'm noticing, and I guess just because there's so much of it, is the amount of sexuality and humiliation that's being done in TV series and movies. We've always talked about that, how like sex is in everything, but they constantly keep pushing the envelope further and further to make it normalized. Like the BDSM stuff is normalized, all these different kind of kinks. Like there's a lot of stuff we don't need to necessarily see in a movie. You can kind of like insinuate something happening, right?
Okay.
And the latest, I haven't seen it, but did you ever watch the first season of Euphoria?
No.
Okay. Euphoria is
I know where you're going, yeah.
Insane. Okay, like I literally watched that show and I was literally anxious because to come up with this kind of content, if it's not real, which I'm sure a lot of this is based off of things that do happen in everyday life that we don't talk about a lot, but you have to have kind of like a sick mind to be able to do certain things that were done in that show.
Okay.
And now with this new season, there was talk about Sydney Sweeney going through all these different things as like a humiliation ritual, and I question that. I go, yeah, it kind of looks like it, but I question it too because why? She's already big, you know. I guess to continue the fame.
Well, she broke away from them. With the was it American Eagle, and then she's kind of been, you know, then, oh, you're a Republican, oh, you're wearing a red dress.
That's what they're saying, that
we need to get you back in line.
The guy that directs it, or writer, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he's a pervert, is humiliating her because they think she's Republican, or whatnot. Which again, this is so stupid, but
no, it's not. That's horrible. She's evil.
No.
She's Republican. She's evil.
But at the same time, and I know it's easier said than done because Brian and I have both said this when it comes to Hollywood, the entertainment world, music. At what you can say, no, I'm not going to do this. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and show my boobs every scene, every episode. And I just don't understand. That's where I go, you know, this is just, they just keep pushing and pushing.
Right.
They talked about this other, what is it, Idol? The show Idol? With Johnny Depp's daughter?
I don't think I
Rose
saw.
Depp. Like she, and The Weeknd, both The Weeknd and her are in the show. And like he does some BDSM stuff or like some stuff. It's just like insane shit. And I'm listening to this person describe it and I was like, what the? Who wants to see that? Like, I get it. It's
a lot of people, apparently.
Apparently a lot of people, but that's not reality. You know? And then they talked about how Zendaya was doing a narrative of the opening of Euphoria with Sydney Sweeney basically, like, promoting OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. And how it's, like, it's 2026, like, women can do what they want. Yeah, you can, but there's consequences to your actions.
It was like she, like, being treated like a dog and then having to do baby noises and like,
yeah, she did stuff and I'm like, why are we doing it? Because they want to normalize
and again that I agree with you, because this is where they take it that step to where first they get you used to the sexualization of OnlyFans, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's okay.
It's
female empowerment, just to sell your body or whatever it is. Yeah, it's going to really do great for your self-esteem later on in life or whatever. It's going to make you a well-adjusted woman, and you're going to be empowered because you took your clothes off for strangers and did what they said. But anyway, then they take it to the depravity. They take it to that extreme of bestiality.
Yes.
And minor children. Again, even though she's not a child, pretending like she's a child. Yeah. So again, here we go, moving into that map world, moving into that pedophilia world that we all know is the next step. That's why everybody just dismissed the Epstein files, because it's like, oh, all these children were just messed with. Oh, Frazzle Drip is real. Oh, well, never mind. Hey, look at Euphoria. Look, Sydney Sweeney. She's got big tits. It's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
You really like it. Here's some Kleenex. Here's some lotion. Just go enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're used to seeing a collar. You're used to seeing the roof. You're used to seeing, and then, oh, well, that's not enough now. I can't get off on that. So let's go to the next step. Let's go to the next step.
Yeah.
And it just destroys and crumbles society, because like we talked when we did our porn episode, what that does to you psychologically, especially to men, because we are the ones that are more, kind of get riled up with that more. I think we're still the bigger porn watcher. And it blurs the lines of reality, like you said, where now, oh, there's an OnlyFans girl, so she's just an animal. She's just a piece of meat for me to use. Oh, I want my girlfriend to do this stuff because Sydney's, It
is.
And now you've got date rape. Now you've got domestic abuse. Now you've got all these things but it tears apart families. It keeps people separated. It's all part of the plan.
Dangerous.
That's how you always destroy society, is through over-sexualization.
Yeah. And it's, there's, in the movies, there's constant, like, choking of women. So there's always that element of, and I know, like, it may be irritating to say it, but women always get the short end of the stick when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, as much as I want to be like, oh yeah, you have a choice as a woman to do whatever you want in the adult world. It's your choice, like, it's empowerment because you're making the choice. They really don't.
Yeah.
Because I've seen interviews with some of these people, like, and it's just like, it goes in, if you've ever seen, they have documentaries like, Life After Porn, When Porn Ends, and like you talk to these people and they're just like crying. They've moved on and they give their life to God now, and it's just they were drug addicts, and it's just like, it's always the people behind the camera that have this like warped mentality, but also you want the fame, you want the money, and you have to do certain things. That's the mentality. You have to do these things in order to make it, and sometimes those things are not worth it. People get injured. People get diseases.
Jenna Jameson got messed up.
Yeah. She couldn't even, like, walk, right?
And it was the producers, and it was the directors, and it was the executives. It was not only making what they were making her do on screen, but what they were doing to her then themselves. And now she's like a shell of herself.
And this is where, like, when we start seeing this stuff, because, like, HBO, Showmax, Cinemax, those are the shows that push the envelope a lot.
Yeah.
But it's bleeding into, like, the milder channels, or, like, streaming services, like Hulu and stuff like that. I
remember a few scenes in Big Bang Theory. Yeah. It was like that when that Sheldon had his dream sequence, and he dreamed that Penny and Leonard turned his room into a sex dungeon. And Penny had Leonard tied to a one of those X crosses, whatever they're called, and she's like whipping him, and it's like, that's where, even for a character like Sheldon Cooper, who's pure and innocent, and his mind and his dream went to that lifestyle, and it's like, I mean, it is a great excuse to put her in a skimpy little outfit with her tits hanging out and everything, but even on a show like that where these are like science nerds, they still do it.
Yeah, the thing that comes to mind is, with all this stuff happening, what's going on? Okay, so let's look at headlines. The entertainment world is doing this. What's going on in real life, or headlines and stuff like that? So there's been an increase now of, I don't know why the news is covering this, because I'm surprised when they cover stuff like this. Or it's like just one or two that they cover and then they let it go. How there's people in high school, girls in high school, that are getting sexually assaulted or getting beaten. Boys, they go to like a different country for a school trip, and like 4 boys raped and assaulted another boy. And the school, and these were bullies, and the parents had told the school, hey, my son is getting bullied by these people, and what do? They room them together.
Yeah.
So you're creating the chaos.
Yeah.
The principal is not going to get in trouble. Those boys aren't going to get charged, because guess what? It happened outside of the country.
Yeah.
And then secondly, the only 2 boys that did get charged was because they found video on their phone of it. So they're getting charged with sexually explicit videos of a minor. And I'm just like, that's it? Everything's a slap on the wrist. So 5-6 months, 5 years, if that, because then they'll do like time served after like a year. And this dumb fuck, that was that baseball player, the high school rapist,
Yeah.
he wins big in court again. What do you mean? And how disgusting was his stuff? He had so many girls. He was choking them. Yeah. He was raping them. And I'm like, so see how you were saying, like, that fantasy, like, this is how sex is? It's not. But they keep pushing it with the entertainment world.
Because that was the only way he could get himself off.
Yeah, but it's like...
the extremes. You think he could just take a girl and take her home and just nice and simple? No.
Cuddle. But, I was thinking about that because I have a friend that was like, she's dated people, and then I remember one time she told me about this one guy. She said he was too vanilla, and I was like, "What do you want?"
I've actually heard women say that. Yes.
What do you want?
He was too simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, this is dangerous territory."
And then you have the ones where they're like talking bad, like, "Yeah, I want all this rough stuff or whatever," and so you do a little something, and then they say, "Oh, I didn't want that."
Yeah. It's very dangerous to do this kind of stuff.
And it's a lot of this is because, like you said, because of what you see.
Yeah.
On your laptop screens or on your phone screens, whether it's straight up porn sites or whether it's in mainstream
TV shows,
mainstream film and shows, and they look so nice, and the actors or actresses are so hot, and the scenes are everything's perfect in the scenes, and look, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to emulate that. And then, of course, people will like shake their head. No, people not like, but that's what happens.
And this is what it leads to. We have daycare worker kissing little girl on the lips 20 times. Ugh. We have that daycare worker that was a female saying that she actually loves the young boy that she was taking care of. Like, this is what that leads up to. We're getting more and more comfortable with these headlines. That's why I'm like, why is the news covering this? Because they want to keep putting it out there. Because how many years ago did they have that lecture, that TED Talk, where they were saying, don't call them pedophiles. It's a sexual identity. And I'm like, no. No, it's not.
They're still pushing that all the time.
And not a single person that I knew, that I followed, ever reported that story. But when I mentioned it on my Facebook, there was like one person that was like, this is disgusting. And I'm like, one out of how many people I know that look at my page? No one speaks up about it. And we have been seeing more and more headlines of parents killing their kids, parents doing all this obscene stuff, neighbors, babysitters. I mean, and it just keeps increasing, and I wonder, why are they reporting this? You would think the news is reporting it to let the people know, be like, hey, be careful with who you leave your kids with, be careful daycare, be careful school. Young men should not be doing this to other young women or other young men. Teachers having relations with students, but we're waiting 6 months to report this because we want to let it, like, cool off. The more and more teachers are coming out. That that orange guy that was a coach.
Oh, the orange guy, yeah.
Which, by the way, one of my collector friends, that was her son's.
That's wild.
Gym
you
coach
said that, yeah. I heard that. You
said
that.
And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, and thankfully, she said that he never experienced that. But that was like good. But that hits close to home. Like the fact that it happened here in Arizona, and it just continues. Because this isn't the first two stories we've heard of teachers doing that.
Well, there was the one in California. I remember I talked about it a long time ago where they were trying to pass that thing for oral and anal because it was because it was an anti-LGBT.
Fuck that. Let it be anti.
Because so they were doing it to where if there couldn't be more than a 10-year gap up to like 23 or 24. So if you're a 23-year-old, you could still have oral with a 15-year-old boy. No. And they want to make that legal. And plus,
Cali, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, there's states out there that are trying to, that are making lesser punishments for pedophilia, and they're wanting to rename pedophilia, they're wanting to rename it all, sex offenders and everything. It's just, they wanted to make it so normalized that you look at it as just, these two people just want to be together.
No.
And they're trying to, cover it. First it's, if they're 21 or 20 or 22, because they're close enough. And so they'll get the society to accept, and their base, unfortunately, the left base will just accept it, because like you said, both of us know a lot of liberals, and nobody will, I don't know if they're afraid to, because everybody's afraid to say that their side did something that's not good.
Yeah.
But it's like if they admit, like I remember the friends I don't have anymore. I said that to him. I was like, it's okay to call out your side. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or you voted for someone that's, you're bad because you voted for side that's now pushing this. Now, if you see this, now you call it out.
Yeah.
And now when you get your next ballot box, you vote for the other person because they're not going. But people won't. They just sit there. They shrug their shoulders. Yeah. They go out. I just want to. I don't want to be bothered with it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to. It's just let somebody else deal with that.
It's very true.
Until a Republican does it, and then it's oh, holy hell.
But you know what I've noticed with the comments on some of these stories that are covered, like just now, one of them was like a transgender mom was crossing into Cuba to do the transition surgery to her son. They're being charged with kidnapping. Have you heard about that?
No.
It just recently happened, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's insane how they keep bringing this up, and like people are still. This is the danger of some of the stuff that they cover because, again, we've always said, real trans people don't do this stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can it be a whole family of transgender people?
I don't know. It's not. We both talked about that enough. It's not.
It's not, and so I just think that they're pushing to normalize this. We call it the not mutation. What is it called? The mutilation of children. Anything to do with children, it's like a fad.
It's always kids.
Always the children.
It's always kids.
And then mostly men transitioning.
And it has been from not just our country, but in empire to empire throughout time. I mean, even now, Africa's been doing a lot of this as far as what they do to women, mutilating them to keep them from being sexual.
Their culture,
yeah. And it goes back to the Corinthian days, Roman days. It's always freaking children. It's. And I don't even know what to do. It's like.
It's just I'm trying to figure out that's the thing. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and I know what's going on. We both know what's going on, It's like. That's what I was gonna say. So that story about the mom, quote unquote mom, being charged allegedly with kidnapping, to go to Cuba to transition their child. In the comment section, and then anything to do with like Republicans getting caught doing perverse stuff, or like what Democrats, whoever the fuck party it is, I've noticed in the comments that people are like, you're not getting it. It doesn't matter what side. And I'm happy to see that because it's true. It doesn't matter what political party. It's the sick people in this world. Mm-hmm. You can't say, because people are like, of course it's a Republican. It's like, what the fuck are you...
Constant,
like,
they're keeping score. Look, my party's better than your party because we have less people. It's so stupid.
And then someone will say, of course it was a liberal. And it's like, again, you're not getting it. Yes, but you're not getting it. Yeah. That it's all sides, like both sides. It's all the same. And I'm happy to see that because people are waking up. But I also did see something, and it really resonated with me. That there was a video of a person saying, like, you have to be careful with who you, like, talk to about this kind of stuff. Not like, don't talk about it, but know when to stop talking. Because this actually happened to me during my birthday celebration. I had mentioned something. I had mentioned that it was like after. I had mentioned something and I started getting questioned. And as soon as I got attacked by 4 people, I'm going to say attacked because they weren't like, tell me about it. They were just like, what sources? Do you know there's other sources that you can read? And I immediately said, yes, I've done the research. I said, and then I stopped. I stopped talking because I was like, this is where the line you have to stop because some people are just not ready to face the reality of things. Yeah. Some people are not ready to wake up, and we see it because we're like, "Are you sheep?"
Did I leave already? Sheep?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Huh?
Damn it! Why did I miss the good stuff?
Yeah, it was after. So it was this person said you have to be careful because these people will start to get upset. They're not ready mentally. And we've talked about that when the Epstein files released. People are going to get crazy.
Well, they
They're
jump
gonna
on a
want to end their
side.
life.
They jump on a side, and they don't look at anything else.
Yeah, and so I immediately stopped, and I remember telling the intern, I said, I had to stop talking because, first of all, I'm not going to give my energy where I'm going to get angry because I'm being questioned, right? Because heaven forbid I turn around and start questioning, right? So I stopped talking, and then on top of that, that's where that realization of that video that I saw was like, you have to be careful because people can get dangerous to a point where they want to kill you.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to wake them up and they're not ready for it. And I was like, damn, that is so true because people do tend to get violent when you are trying to be like, hey, look at it like this, and they're like, ah!
It's another part of our society is we're normalizing wanting to commit violence to those that we disagree with.
Bad.
And which is why you see as much as you do online as far as instead of just saying, no, I don't really agree. Have you thought about this or I've read this? Yeah. It's no.
And then blown whistles, pushing people.
And like you're like, I don't want to be a friend anymore. Or you're evil or just because you don't agree or because you have access to different information or whatever. So So, like I said, that's why I'm kind of the same way. I'm you say 2 + 2 is 5. Great, cool.
Good for you. That's what I say. Good for you.
If that's where you want to go, because and if you want to keep that head buried in the sand and just go off what your mainstream says, because they're telling you the absolute truth, because there's no agenda there. There's no puppet masters pulling those strings. So sources kind of do matter, and that's why. Again, I kind of miss X a little bit because I got a lot of people that I could get a lot of information from, and we have to get it while we can because, like I said, they're building laws.
Oh, they're already erasing stuff too. They've been.
They're building laws like the Nick Shirley law in California to prevent because now they're with the fraud stuff coming out. They're getting in the way of the money laundering because it's like you look back to this last election. How the hell did an installed candidate with no primary votes in the last minute after a debate get handed $1 billion? Where did they come up with $1 billion?
Was it $1 billion?
Yeah. Shit. Because, again, the party that hates billionaires had that's why I thought it was so funny. I thought it was so funny because it's like you guys you guys hate Fortune 500 CEOs. You guys hate billionaires. You hate celebrities. You hate millionaires. But yet you're all celebrating that they're all giving money to it's like, where did they get all their money? And then when Doge comes in and now the... what was the name of the latest one? The SPLC.
Yeah, what was that about?
The fraud coming out with the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah. That
everything this circles back to everything as a show because they're finding that was a fraudulent. There's money laundering. There's fraud, and this organization is against hate and all this. They call Catholics a threat to America. They call moms a threat to moms for freedom a threat to America and they're wanting to end all this hate, but yet they were funding white nationalist groups, neo-Nazis. The theory, it's still in it's still in the beginning, it's still in the conspiracy theory side, but the word is that that this group, the Southern Poverty Law Center, actually funded the Charlottesville issue. Remember with the Charlottesville?
You're kidding.
That they were the ones that put those groups of people in that thing. Because it's an op. It's a psyop.
Yeah.
Because they had to smear Trump at all costs. And then he says, and then when he said there's good people on both sides thing that got totally misquoted and out of context where he said, not the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists because they should be condemned totally. But there's good people on both sides of the statue debate. Because there usually are people on both sides of a debate. And people aren't necessarily bad. They're just debating. They have different points of view. But that whole thing was manufactured just like the E. Jean Carroll thing is coming out now. Have you heard about that?
No.
Where it's whistleblowers out there saying that the DNC basically came to her and paid her. That's why she didn't know. That's why she didn't know what day it was, where it was, the dressing room. The dress hadn't even been invented yet. That's why the criminal court said, get this out of here. And the civil court, which is like, well, yeah, maybe. Well, I guess. Here, we'll give you some money for slander.
Can I ask you something, though? Even if that... Just ignoring those facts that you said, right?
Yeah.
The fact that she made it a fantasy.
I told somebody that.
That
She didn't say that.
Is
I was
sexy.
CNN and Anderson Cooper.
It was on the
Anderson Cooper had to cut her off and go to commercial.
Yes.
And the person I was talking to was like, well, "No, she didn't really
Google
say."
it.
I played part of the. As soon as I started playing the clip, his eyes rolled, and I was like, "Never mind.
Oh,
Never mind."
Yeah.
Again, 2 + 2
You don't
is
believe
5.
it. Yeah.
Because of who it is that it's against. Because again, it's a 10-year smear on one man, and it's just.
See how that even plays into what's going on today? Rape is sexy.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyone who says that, be like, get out. You're
And
sick.
Anderson tried that. He was like,
he was like shit. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure everyone in his ears like, get her off, get her off,
commercial,
like, get her off
commercial
the thing.
And she's just sitting there like, and what did she say?
Because she was paid.
Didn't she say when you cut it, you're a nice looking man, or she said something like
She
that?
I'm like, lady, what are you doing? You're making that. She was digging her own hole, and just setting up traps left and right. But that's the thing that I always find comical, and it bothers me. It's like, so you didn't see it? Like when I had that conversation and people were questioning what I was saying about, oh, well, do you read the other sources and stuff? And I'm like, yes. Someone had mentioned that Trump had gone to Chile, because I mentioned something about the girl that was euthanized in Spain. They're like, well, what happened? And then I started telling, as soon as I started explaining, they're like, well, what else and I'm like, okay, I'm done talking, because I'm just explaining what was read, what was said, what was reported, and if I can't finish my sentence, then why am I going to continue talking, right?
Because I get mad.
Yeah, and so then I said, well, you know what, I stopped talking, and then I think I had mentioned something about Chile, and then they said, yeah, well, Trump was just there, and I said, really? And they're like, oh, you didn't know that? And I was like, no, because the man doesn't dictate my life. I don't know. Yeah, he went to Venezuela. I said, oh, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I don't care. And then they stopped. And I was like, when they said, oh, you didn't know that? I was like, what does that mean? Like, you mean I live my life? I don't, like, follow everything the man does? Like,
well, and then they have something
should
like,
I be
and I saw
following
something
everything?
today where, like, because CNN had to, like, oh my gosh, or I saw that the U.S. trade deficit falls to the lowest level since 2009.
Really?
The tariffs are actually freaking working. The deficit's now $29.4 billion when they expected it to be around 48, and then so it's like, huh. And if you try to say that to anybody,
you're like,
they'll get pissed and they get mad, and then they'll say, well, but he wanted genocide, or something like. So it's
okay,
like,
I'm really getting sick and tired of that. Like that whole Wi-Fi password of the, was it? Fuck! I wish I remembered the acronym. Was it Murdered Indigenous Women Child MIWT 2S MWW?
Yeah, I remember that.
WW John Cena. No, and they're like the genocide every day, and I was like, what are we talking about? Homeless people? Or are we talking about the kids that are getting
opioid
murdered? The drugs,
rape trees at the border.
Is that what we're talking about?
I mean, we did have 315,000 children. That's another thing that's happened since inauguration. They took over. 130,000 have been found.
They don't report that.
130,000 kids have been found.
That.
Not again, deficits falling, trade stabilizing, kids are being found. There's no crime in the streets. I mean, the crime numbers are down to historic lows. Nobody's crossing the border. We got control of Venezuela's oil and got rid of a dictator. We got Greenland and its minerals. We'll see what happens with Iran as far as how we're going to become an oil superpower. But you can't say any of that to anybody. And even saying that right now, there's certain people I know that if they're listening, they just tuned out. Mm-hmm. Because you can't. That's okay. Because you can't. And again, I don't care about the man. I don't care. It was like he was in Phoenix. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. What's he here? I was like, I don't know.
I don't care.
Yeah, I was like.
Some of these people, they follow his every word, and it's like, why?
So tired of hearing about him.
He doesn't dictate. No president is going to dictate how I live my life.
Exactly.
Even if he were to say something or try to executive order something that, because they were talking about because for a while it was like, well, the trans people in Kansas can't get licenses. Like, what does that have to do with me? Yeah. What does that have to do with you? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you're in Kansas, just go to a driver's license that says whatever gender you are. Move. No, or just if you're a man, like just go and say okay. Yeah. Put M on the application. Yeah. It's okay. Done. So your life is determined based on your driver's license, determined by, but it's just I'm like you. I'm just tired of it.
I am. I'm tired.
Because even with everything we've talked about, everything we've said, going back and forth, saying when he's an idiot, saying when he's done good things, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Every president does some good things, does some bad things. Yeah. You know, I paid $4.50 a gallon for gas, and it's like, damn, that sucks. But I remember paying $5.50 when the other guy was in office. It's like, but either way,
we forget. We always forget about that.
We always forget. We forget about the 45-year high of 9.1 inflation.
Yeah.
And how now it's down to in the threes, and the government has never had this few employees. We don't have as many government employees to pay for.
Yeah.
He finally did what they've been wanting to do, which shrink the government to like a 25-year low, which we pay those salaries. So if there's less people working in the government, we pay less in taxes. Yay! And now they go into private sector, and they go into other jobs and manufacturing jobs, and now the jobs report exploded this month, and it's like, because they get jobs, and it's like, crickets, no report.
They'll never look at it like
he
that.
made a bad tweet. He made a bad post, so... And everybody's worried about what he types on a page. And I wish now it would have been there for whatever this when this is over recording and we're done, you're going to tell me what happened.
Nothing. Like what I just said, I stopped talking.
Why the subject, like what the subject matter was.
And I knew this was going to happen because entertainment was brought up before this.
Oh.
About like Bad Bunny, and they're like, "Do you like Bad Bunny?" I said no. And they looked at me and I was like, they're like, "Why?" And I was like, as soon as he got with the Jenners or with the Kardashians, I stopped liking him. Like, for what reason? There's something weird about that.
I would have said, "Why do I have to like him?"
Yeah, but I'm explaining my point of view.
Yeah.
If I gotta listen to other people's point of view, why can't I say what I like and don't like?
Because it's not conforming, so they don't want to hear it.
Yeah. So then she's like, "Oh, okay." And then we talked about other artists, and I talked about Lady Gaga. I got my moment to explain the whole Lady Gaga stuff. Mm-hmm. How I loved Lady Gaga, loved her music, and then as soon as she got with that Miriam whatever, I had to show pictures. I was like, yeah, this is called spirit cooking. And look at these photos. There's people on the table. There's this and that. Look at this model that looks like a child. Look at it. And they literally were like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah, that's why the entertainment world is what it is. And it's hard to enjoy music, enjoy... quote unquote artists. I mean,
when you know that
they're all part of it.
Majority of them are in some way, shape, or form have been, and the Epstein files laid that all out.
Yeah.
And because you're searching for one name and not looking at all the names.
Yeah. Yeah.
You miss it all, and then when these things come out, you're like, wait, I didn't know this. It's like, but it was right there.
Right.
And it's been there because they don't hide. Oprah and her guru and everything, and the countless
people forget
the fact that
really
Oprah's plane was on the Epstein Island like 16 times, and a lot of them were after kids were going missing, and then all the remains they found around the New Mexico ranch,
Zorro Ranch, yeah.
And again,
but no one cares.
That's why I'm saying when it comes to, I know we kind of got into the Trump world, which I didn't know if I wanted to, but I wanted to now because since you had to go through that, because people will get mad, they'll get angry, but they don't care.
No.
And I will preach that to that you don't care. If you're sitting here, if you're listening to us and you're liberal, great, thanks for listening. I don't care. I'm independent. I don't care.
Yeah.
But you don't hate him. You don't hate what's going on. You're not upset. You're not pissed off. Because everything that's gone on has gone on before. Everything that's been said has been said before. Every policy has been tried before. Every executive order in some way, shape, or form has been done. Hillary Clinton said she was going to bomb the hell out of Iran. You would have cheered. Obama bombed the hell out of everybody without congressional approval. You cheered. Inflation's been up, down. Kids have been in cages. Borders been open, closed.
Kids in cages.
You know, rape trees have been there. Trafficking's been there
for years.
For years. For centuries.
Yes. Not just recently.
You don't care. Just please get out of the psyops. Like I said, the Eugene Carroll thing is coming out. This group the Charlottesville thing, which was set up with the Russian dossier, Steele dossier was a setup. There's no Russian embassy in Florida. Nobody peed on him in a hotel in Europe. There's all these things. It's one giant smear campaign because he was wrecking the hell out of their plans. And not saying he's great because now he's in bed with technocrats. They're doing AI robots and all this shit.
Yeah.
He's sold out in some ways. But
yeah.
And even with Kash Patel, the director, with this new Southern Poverty Law Center, they can't. Right before this happened, people were like, "Where's Kash? Kash is a drunk. Kash is terrible. He's a horrible FBI director. He's getting fired.
Yeah.
He's moving on. Hey, he's terrible. He's a drunk. Look at the Olympics. He was a drunk." And then they came out with it, and that's why they were smearing him. So when he comes out with a story saying this group is money laundering and 11 indictments of fraud, people will just say, "Well, it's just Kash. He's drunk anyway." That's what they do. So they take the stories, they take the fraud, they take everything, and they just smear it. Arizona electors I saw about a week ago were wanting to apologize to the Trump administration for 2020 because the election was, tampered with.
Yeah.
And the electors are like, damn,
what are you talking about?
We missed this.
What are you talking about? And
it's done and it's over and he was president and all this. You know, we had 4 years of Biden and that's fine, whatever. But he shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
At least not through Arizona. He didn't win Arizona.
Well, I think it's funny that now, what was it? Was it for the Attorney General in Arizona?
Yeah, 400 votes separated, and they didn't count the provisional ballots.
No, there's a...
Oh, that was getting Chris Myers in office, sorry.
There's a... Intern, what was it? We saw a commercial.
What?
Of that. Was it the Attorney General that the sheer audacity. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. The Epstein files dropped. I kept saying, you're not ready for this list. You don't really want this list because when you see what you're gonna see, which is only like 1 to 2, I'm gonna be lenient and be 1 to 5% of what you really got to know, because this shit is dark, dark, and I get goosebumps saying that because you have no fucking idea how sick and demonic these people are. They're not even people. Okay. You wanted the list. You bitch and complain. You're crying on Instagram. You're crying on TikTok. You're like, I haven't been able to get out of bed. I want to kill myself. Nothing in my life is real. Nothing is true. Everything we've learned is false. It's all a psyop. All this stuff. And yet we still have political campaign advertisements with this motherfucker here in Arizona who had the sheer audacity to say, I will be hard on crime. I will put people away. And by the way, I'm not on the Epstein list. Fuck you for saying that. Yeah. That is insensitive. That is out of line.
I know.
And you see how people are thinking that's funny? It's not fucking funny. And people are like, justice for the victims. Do you really fucking care?
Nope, they don't.
Because if you did, you would hold everyone accountable. And they will never be held accountable.
Never be held accountable.
No one's going after Bill Gates. No one's going after...
Well, he is going to testify. He has a congressional testify.
Oh, there's a country that's suing him.
I think in June he's going to go before Congress. Now...
That's a show.
But the thing is, it is a show because Hillary and Bilbo went there. They did a when Hillary was there. Remember, they had the distraction of that someone was leaking what was going on. So they immediately shut that down. Never brought her back. Yeah. Bill Clinton sat in there and looked at pictures and laughed and said, "Yeah, I don't think Trump was a part of anything. He got let go." Mm-hmm. Trump even said, "Let's let the Clintons leave them alone." And then the new AG comes in for Pam Bondi, and first thing he says, "Yeah, we're done with all things Epstein. We're moving on from the case."
Yeah.
All of them. Are involved because when you're going to cry pedophile protector, you better be talking about 1,000 people that are in charge. Mm-hmm. And I get that the one man is the most, but still, when these midterms hit, we better see not one incumbent win, not one. No, considering they voted in the House to suppress the slush fund, suppress the sexual assault funds. That, like, Eric Swalwell now has already been removed for. Ruben Gallegos should be removed for.
Yes,
I agree. And the Florida House, there's a Democrat in the House from Florida, she just resigned. A mayor in Louisiana just got arrested. So there are things that are happening, but all 435 members of that House should not be reelected. But you know what? But you know what?
Absolutely they shouldn't be.
88 to 90% of them will. Because we the voters are stupid, and we'll sit there. That's why I say people don't care. Yeah. If you cared, you would campaign to remove it. Ted Cruz, all the big names, AOC, Ilhan Omar, all of them.
I know, and that bitch, someone asked her, like,
but it's all Somalis that vote.
Yeah, but the audacity of that woman, too, because, first of all, she loves it. She loves when people, she's like, she curses now, right? They all think they're badass. And she thinks they're badass, and I'm like, you are... insane.
Ruben Gallego drops F-bombs and it's like, you're not Trump, stop.
Yeah, and I just don't understand the world we live in. That's what it is. I'm trying to come to terms with what is life, what is reality.
I think it's funny, and my angle of it is, as we close out here, is they're falling apart because
they are, and I'm living for it, but it's confusing
because
me
they can't hide it the way they once did.
Yes,
even with the Artemis stuff, no matter whether that happened or not, you cannot fake your way through anything anymore.
And the outrage of that, yet no outrage for these scientists gone missing.
Yeah. I'll have to go deeper into that because it's growing. The list is growing. It is. And the one big one was the woman, I think she's been gone, died 5 or 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And she had a way to do clean energy for everybody. Mm-hmm. Every city, it was going to, the energy industry was just going to basically go away. Yeah. Between that and the Alzheimer thing where they were how they were comparing it to diabetes, saying it's an insulin issue, and it's not that they forget stuff, but they just lose access to their brain. Mm-hmm. And once they figure out how to, get their access back, they'll be fine. But they stopped that research. Of course they did. They stopped dementia research. They stopped cancer research. We've put in trillions of dollars in cancer research, and we know nothing. We just still pump people full of chemo to destroy their bodies for their future. How many times have I said, I always say it, all this advancement in technology, all this money for research, and it's money laundering. I will always remember the intern's friend who said, we were this close to curing childhood cancer, and then Trump took the funding away. And I said, how many years have we been this close to curing cancer? No. We're right there. Don't even say that. Because, we're right there. Explosive findings. Because again, I shouldn't keep going. Yeah. Again, it all just boils down to one people. Yeah. Because the smear, which I don't even care about. The smear worked. Yeah. We can't function and can't figure anything out and can't hold anybody accountable because we're too worried about one person that you've been told to hate for 10 years. But then because he beat Hillary and he messed up their whole plan. Mm. Yeah. But orange monkey wrench. I don't want to say I'm excited to see, but I think my analytical side is I'm trying to figure things out as we go because there's patterns. That's why we talked about what we talked about today. But supposedly, and I'm always going to say in the spiritual world, we are coming very close to more things being exposed, and it's going to get bad. It's going to get bad for the people out there who don't understand what's going on. And I'm ready for it. Big wake-up call. I am ready because I love seeing, that stuff you sent me about Ellen. Yeah. I love seeing these bad people get their karma. Oh, that's that Kuru or whatever disease I was talking about? And she's going blind. Yeah, because she looks horrible. Because she was, quote-unquote, vegan. No, vegan. That's what they called it. No, well, if vegan... It's not funny, there was no animal byproducts. It was just humans. It was just humans. I always forget. You're right. You said that last time, and I forget. Because I'm... Oh, it's not funny. What I think is funny is how all this stuff is coming out. They always say when you lie, you'll always find out the truth. And so we're getting there. And I'm excited to see, even if it comes to the point of, you guys, we lied to the American people. The elites have bunkers. They're going to go underground in these bunkers. There's a huge comet coming your way. Sorry. Well, what they're going to... I'm going to applaud and be like, finally! Well, they're just going to... They're just going to keep blowing up the oil refineries across the world. And then we'll have no choice. Oh, God. Farms first. Now the oil refineries. So, yeah, it's going to be like The Walking Dead soon. Yeah. If we even survive what's coming. Yeah. So, anyways, while you still can, like we've been saying, go outside, get some sun, and touch grass. Okay, bye!